Alright, tutorial number 8. Time to start polishing things up. Alright, so we're going to start with the drums, the kicks. I'm going to put a saturator on it. Let's silence our kicks and loop them. And then you press this button up here, which will create the loop, so once it plays, it'll cut back to right here. So shorten it up a bit, actually. Alright, and then we're going to put the saturator on there. Doesn't do much. Put the DC on. Put a soft sign. And we're going to copy that and put it on the kicks. Sign. I'm going to do about 114. Now it's here without it. Real quiet. Gives it that more pump to it, you know. And another thing I did is I cut sub bass. Used to be around right here, I think I left it off at, and I just cut it down all the way, because after doing that you don't really need much sub, you just need a little bit to fill in the gaps. So that's what I did, and as you can tell, you get more of a so back to our kicks. And another thing I use often are multi-band dynamics. It's just put about one on it as well. And I put this back just a little bit to cut out the mids from our kick, like -4, and put the low up about 1. That way you cut out the high end of the kick and more sub to it, and more bass. And the same as for this, except I just do one-on-one. I haven't really played around with this too much, so there's always more room for improvement. But for now, this will do to get your feet wet in these and get the basic idea behind them. Next, we're going to move on to our snare and clap. Watch, if you hear it now, you can barely hear it. They just don't pop out. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with the saturator. And we're going to put a hard curve on this one. We're going to cut it back to about 8. And that's going to do, might as well put one on here just for practice. I'm going to turn the low off. $420, why not? About 0.5 right there. And really anything at this point is really all up to your likings to put your own feel to your own tracks. You don't really want to copy this word, or not word for word, move for move, because you really aren't going to learn anything. You're just going to copy what I did. That's not really learning. Just take note of what I move and change in sound, and that's where you'll get the most out of this and put into your own tracks and come out with something that much better and greater than your last track you made. So let's hear what it sounds like now after we did that to all the snares. I think we have clipping. Oh yeah, we do. So we're going to put a limiter after all the effects. Just put like a -1 on there. Moved it to about 5, and we're going to have to put a limiter on the kicks as well. I saw them clipping a little bit. Except I'm gonna leave it at the stock 0.3 because I really like when the kicks have a lot of bass. You need bass for all your songs. Just nothing without the bass. Alright, on to the cymbals. Very quiet they are. So I'm going to run through the same things. Put a saturator on there. I think I did a hard curve on this one. Oh yeah. I think I'm going to put a -8 on this one as well. Yeah. I haven't really done this to cymbals yet. I just got into using the multi-dynamics tool. It's really good, helps a lot. And I'm not going to touch the low. Maybe push the high up just a tad. Maybe at -5. I'm going to put that same. I'm going to put that out at 2. Like I said, I haven't used this too much, so even I'm still learning more about all these plugins, which are actually really good. All of these help out a lot in putting more into your tracks. Were these clipping? Nah, I'll put one on there anyways. Alright, let's hear the drums now. The sub is still a little high. I am going to put a limiter on it. I'm going to put it down to like -4. Maybe even down to like a -8 actually. That's pretty good. The only other thing I'm really gonna touch, well, I mean, I guess we could do the sub bass as well, but really you could do that on your own. I've already showed you how the tools work, but we're gonna work on the bass line just so we get a little more feel. Bass line sounding a little blah at this point. I'm gonna put a multi-band dynamic and saturator as well. Let's see what we could make. out of these two for now. So I'm definitely gonna put up the mid. Put that around 1. And just boost the low end a little bit. And now we'll put a limiter on it. I like doing it this way with the limiters, because then you still get the loudness of the sound. If you were to just turn down the volume, it's just kind of quieter. I don't know. It seems to sound better this way, but putting limiters on instead of turning down the volume. But I still do it to some if I'm not going to really put effects on it. Just turn them down a little bit, because they're just really too loud. But this is just clipping a little bit, so we'll put like a -1 on it. See how that goes. Okay, so that's pretty good for the overall. And now it's time to start working with the master and saturator, of course, multidynamics. Those are just the basics I use. And I'm gonna put a EQ8 as well. And then the limiter's out 1, so nothing clips in the overall mastering. But if you do plan on sending out your track to a mastering service, don't touch any of this, and give them like I think it was -3 dB, just so I could play with the volume a little bit. And I also heard a good tip was leaving them 4 bars before and after your clip, just to add in, you know, a gradual intro, maybe some effects you're gonna do on your outro, some echoes, panning across something. Just gives them room to play with your track and add more character to it. But it's always good to learn mastering as well. So let's begin. And when you do this, you want to pick, like we already picked, the main part has all the sounds in there, so you could do it off this. it's alright. I'm not too good at mastering. I'm always learning everything, and I've actually putting these tutorials for you guys helps me out a lot. Makes me push deeper and show you guys some more details into stuff, and it's been helping me out a lot on my production as well, because I won't spend hours and hours just spiraling off on a song. I have a structure to show you guys how to build a electro house, and that's what we got. I'm gonna pump up the sub a little bit. Just see how the last drop sounds. Oh, it's because we missed the glide, that's why. And there you have it. I was gonna show you guys ozone, but not everyone's gonna have ozone, and maybe I'll make just a separate tutorial just on ozone, as I'm gonna have a few with Razor and Massive as well. But comment on these videos and let me know which genre you guys would like to see next. I was gonna put together not sure if I should do dubstep next or some drum and bass. I'm not quite sure what you guys are gonna want, so just comment and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. Peace.